Happy holidays, everybody. Tate Davis here with another album battle for you. This one is against two bands that I really love a lot. One of these albums was released in 1970, the other 1971. One's a hard rock band, one's a prog band. In one corner, the debut album by British hard rock band UFO. UFO 1, 1970. In the other corner, Yes, the Yes album from 1971. Let's talk about the UFO album first. So UFO 1 is the debut album by UFO. This is the Repertoire Records vinyl reissue. Not really much of an album cover here again. I wish I did that quite enough. I'll read you the liner notes from this album. So, a couple of months ago, Noel Moore, Beacon label manager, called me up and asked if I could visit his office as soon as I was able. That meant immediately. He said he had found an exciting new group, and he wanted my opinion for what it was worth on their talents. Listening to the record was a rewarding experience, and I said I wanted to become involved in their welfare as soon as possible. This too meant immediately. My first meeting with the band proved my thoughts to be correct. They were young, probably not long out of school, and still experimenting with sound. Although they were quite accomplished musicians, the boys, Mick Bolton on guitar, age 20, Pete Way on bass guitar, age 19, Andy Parker on drums, age 18, and Phil Mogg on lead vocals, at age 19. We're still having some difficulty coordinating. But as I said, this was a couple of months ago. Now we consider them to be together enough for us to release a first album. Many of the tracks are written between them and are a musical expression on their innocence and thoughts of the world we live in. We hope you enjoy it as much as the boys did making it. Derek Abrahams, who produced this album, I believe. So like I said, Phil Mogg on lead vocals, Mick Bolton on guitar, Pete Way on bass, Andy Parker on drums, and they were quite young when they recorded this album. They had just gotten signed to Beacon Records. UFO originally formed under the name Hocus Pocus, and they renamed themselves after a small club in London that I think Pink Floyd used to play at when they were first starting out. So opening the album, you have the really cool, spooky instrumental, Unidentified Flying Object, which is really cool, followed by Boogie, or Boogie for George, which features some really great guitar work by Mick Bolton. Cover of Eddie Cochran's Come On Everybody follows that. Really, really cool, energetic version of that Eddie Cochran classic. Shake It About, which is a really cool boogie tune. Come Away Melinda, a tune that was first, I believe, recorded by Harry Belafonte. This is my favorite version of that particular song. Uriah Heep did a pretty good version on their debut album as well. Great drumming by Andy Parker, just keeping it simple. Great vocals by Phil Mogg on that. And I love the Mick Bolton's guitar solo at the end with Andy Parker doing the bolero rhythm on the rack tom there. Opening side 2, you got a really cool up-tempo boogie tune called Timothy. Follow You Home, which is a pretty similar to You Really Got Me by the Kinks. Treacle People, which is a really cool funky tune. Really, really cool cover of Who Do You Love by Bo Diddley, and then ending it with a cool mid-tempo song called Evil. So overall, for a debut album, this is pretty damn good. Very unfocused. Like Derek Abrahams said in the liner notes, it seemed that Phil, Andy, Mick, and Pete were not really sure what they wanted to do. They were really young, obviously in their late teens, early 20s, and they really seemed like they either wanted to be they didn't know whether they wanted to be a space rock band or a boogie blues rock band. But I like this quite a bit. I know a lot of UFO fans shit on this particular album, but I like it too. As we all know, this lineup would release one more album before Mick Bolton left, to be briefly replaced by Larry Wallace. and then Bernie Marsden briefly, and then of course a German guy named Michael Schenker joined the band, and the rest is history. But overall, pretty solid debut. I like this. I dig this one a lot. In the other corner, the Yes album. So recorded at Activision Studios in London in autumn 1970. Produced by Yes and Eddie Offord. Engineered by Eddie Offord. Photography, Phil Franks. This is a really cool album cover right here. The chair. Released on Atlantic Records. Of course, we have John Anderson on vocals and percussion, Chris Squire on bass guitar and backing vocals, Steve Howe, who would first album with the band, replacing Peter Banks, on electric and acoustic guitars, Tony Kaye on all sorts of keyboards, and then the wonderful Bill Bruford on drums and percussion. Only 6 songs on this album, but really doesn't need to be any more. I think the band say what they need to say in 6 songs, and I think it works really well here. Opening up with the amazing Years Is No Disgrace. Dun 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 dun. Oh yeah, awesome guitar solo by Steve Howe. Bill Bruford is amazing on drums. Great harmony vocals by John Anderson, Chris Squire, and Steve Howe. Awesome song. The Clap, which is a live track recorded by recorded at the Lyceum Theatre in London. Really cool acoustic guitar piece by Steve Howe. Starship Trooper. Amazing. The 3-part song. Really cool keyboards by Tony Kaye. Really cool jazzy drumming with the ride cymbal and the snare by between the ride cymbal and the snare, by Bill Bruford. Love Steve Howe's guitar solo at the end and the third movement with that jam. Just amazing stuff. Flip over the vinyl. I've seen all good people turn their heads each way, so satisfied I'm on my way. Awesome song. Need I say more? This was a highlight of when I saw them a couple years ago, back in 2019. Really great song. A Venture. 3-minute kind of cool, very proggy song, as they are. Progressive rock band written by John Anderson. Really cool keyboards by Tony Kaye on this, and really good vocals by John Anderson. And then Perpetual Change with that fanfare opening. Really cool drumming by Bill Bruford in this. Good vocals by John Anderson and Chris Squire. Overall, this could be my favorite Yes album. I don't know, it flip-flops between this one and the first 2. Close to the Edge, going for the one, Tormato, Drama, 90125. I don't know. My favorite Yes album flip-flops a lot, but this has always been an amazing album for me. So when it comes to comparing the two of them, when it comes to between the two bands, I'd probably favor UFO just a little bit more than Yes, but this is a pretty easy answer for me. This is really cool, unfocused but really cool. This is a band that is firing on all cylinders, and with the next album, would see their classic lineup really show what this band is capable of in the form of Rick Wakeman replacing Tony Kaye. No disrespect to Tony Kaye whatsoever. I'm a big fan of his keyboard playing, but Wakeman would definitely make this band a little bit better. Would make this band even better going forward in their discography. But for right now, Yes is going to win this. Sorry, UFO. Better luck next time. But who cares? There's really no right or wrong answer. It's whichever one you dig more, whichever one you want to take on a desert island with you. And with that being said, pick which ones you like between the two in the comment section below. There will be more of these in the future, and I hope you guys have a happy holiday. See you later. Bye-bye.